Okay, hold up. A couple of the best drive rush options in situation, huh? Couple of the best drive rushes options in situations that I could use for practice. Oh, okay, I talked about this already. Let's put that number 1. Alright, that's number 1 question, right? Okay. Alright. This is not a big deal for any other other players that don't use Dawson, but it's a big deal if you play Dawson. So this is a pretty good exercise. Okay, you put this guy block, and then put this guy on block, then you put him forward jump on block. Okay, don't put delay. Okay, so if he jumps, so you do drive rush, crouching short, and then short jab. Okay, if you do it too fast, the second short will be a true block string, right? Right? So you delay it by a frame, right? Within that, you could practice to do your level 1 supers. Okay, but if you do it too late, what happens is gonna look this. They're gonna be able to jump. See? If you mistime it, If you do it too fast, it's gonna be a true boxing, and you won't have enough time to confirm a one-hitter jab. So with this sense, this is a pretty good like exercise practice for Dawson players, because you would need to get your. It's not like you're always using this in driver situation, but this you're gonna get a lot of short jab situation that you want to convert of, and you will have a proper understanding of how to frame trap in general. But that's to answer your question. How do you manage your super meter as Dawson? I see you use level 1 a lot, and I don't really understand the context. Dawson uses level 1 a lot because that's his best damage with the cost. It's the most cost efficient damage that he has. And his level 1 is really, really good, and he creates a fireball, a free fireball afterwards as well. So I use a lot of level 1. How do I manage my meter? Is I try to pressure my opponent a lot with my limbs or my fireballs, or if they're happy to parry, I like it too, because you're gonna build a lot of bars that way. Like, oh god damn it. See? So fireball, limb. Fireball, limb. Dawson builds a lot of meter of a bunch of nonsense because he gets to actually harass your opponent. That's how you see me do this a lot sometimes, like so even if you're putting them on block string, you're building that meter. So when you hit him, you just lose level 1. There's times, like let's say if you're up around already the level 2, and it looks like you're behind anyways, and the room for comeback is really like very slim, then I save my meter for the 3rd round, you know, which is pretty standard, right? But yeah, that's usually how I do it. When will we hang out? Oh my god. I don't know, James, maybe next week if you want to come by. In footsies, if I'm being hit when I'm walking up a lot, I can't bait out the button very well. What should I do? Oh, very easy. That's a good question. Good question. Crispy1. Good question. So your problem is when you're walking in, if I'm being hit when I'm walking up a lot, I can't bait out the button very well. What should I do? Well, this is very straightforward, and this is a traditional problem, I guess, or just stuff that you solve. Depends on the character that you're fighting, but let's just say traditional characters like Ryu, Ken, Juri, Cammy, Chun-Li, you know, with a 2MK, right? So let's say, let's record this guy just to do this. So, you're walking in, you want to poke him, right? That's what happens to you, right? So, but then if you're not walking in, he's not gonna poke, right? He's not gonna poke if you're not walking in. So, you understand where he likes to poke. So he likes to poke at that range, right? So, but you still walk. you still walk, but you don't duck. See, like, look. Let's see, save this part. Let's save this. Right? Don't duck when you walk in. See, this is what happens, you get hit. See, if you're standing, it will whiff, right? If you duck, you get hit. Okay? So now, your goal is to walk in and just stand up. Oops, like this. And then that's how you whiff punish. If you duck, you get hit, right? I'm too far. You pressed the button already. Like that. I'm too far. But yeah, you get the point. Because if you're ducking, you get hit. If you're standing, it whips. See, like, look. Like here. Right? If I'm standing... Oops. Sorry. Like this. That. We got the range. Okay, whiffs. Oops. One more. Yeah, see? Duck. Standing. Whiff. Right? So since now you know you're not gonna duck, you press the button there as you're standing. But if you press a crouching normal in that range preemptively, you're gonna get counter hit. See? You're gonna be late. So you stand up. Because when you're standing up, you're a lot thinner. If you're crouching, your hurt box extends like wider. So you walk into the same exact thing that you're trying to do, but you just don't do anything. You just don't duck. Press standing normal. This is why you see Luke hit you. This is why you see Ken hit you with a standing normal. Okay? You can still sweep, mind you. Wait for it. But stand. Don't duck. Don't crouch. That's to answer your question. Okay. At what point you feel like your character is holding you back? You should switch to a different main versus trying to improve. It depends. I think that question, at what point? This question, this is for everybody, right? I think this only applies to pros in general. But if any level that's being played outside at the absolute highest level, I don't think it matters what character you play. What actually matters is that you like your character that you're playing. Because I don't think a character can essentially be holding you back. Because unless you're like playing at the absolute highest level and you feel like, man, I should have just been playing JP instead of fucking Lily, right? Kind of like that. Like, sure. But I'm saying that only matters at the highest level. Because at even the absolute worst character in the game, whoever the fucking character you could think of, any pro can take them legit up to like at least 1800 MR with ease. It only takes them like a week or so, if that. If not 2K. So I think that only matters. It's usually a skill issue if you feel like you're having that. Usually everybody, if you're losing and you're practicing, most of the time players would do this. It's my fucking character why I'm losing. But it's never like, there's no self-accountability to it. Like, man, I could have played that better. There's other players that's also doing way better than me that playing this character. Like, how come they're doing that? No, but instead they blame the character, they blame everything else but their game, right? So, alright. What are the routines that you can recommend when prepping for a tournament mentally, especially in situations when you won't know who will be your first opponent until the day of the tournament? Oh, okay, that's pretty good. I like that question. Let's see. So that question, what are the routines that you can recommend when prepping up for a tournament mentally? Well, all of that can just all come naturally by practicing a lot. So with me, if you play a lot, not just play games like mash buttons and shit, like play a lot of games, but legit like actually train. Like training is like you're fixing situations that hits you the most, or situations that you don't know what are the best decisions. So if you're doing that and also working on the matchups in general, you would naturally have some confidence that you know that you're gonna execute well. If you're training for a tournament that you don't know who might be in your pool, whatnot, the best way to do it is to train for general strategy, which is your style that you have innately of who you are as a player. You just refine it and be better at it, and then prepare for the most common characters in the game. So if you prepare it, like, mind you, the pools of the tournament are going to be out 2 or 3 days before the event anyways, but sure, that might not be enough time for you to prepare for whoever's there. But number one, refine your matchup versus JP, Ken, Luke, and DJ, and I think you're gonna be Gucci. But my mentality going into the tournament, like, if it's like a top 8 event that I had a week to prepare, I would train for like, I say, I practice mentally versus like Jiwa, because I had to fight him first round. I really like thought about all the times that he has hit me and what are my decision makings during that time, and I just needed to change that. So I just made a few adjustments, but that's a different topic compared to what you're asking. But in a tournament in general, say when I go to Evo, I do not know who I'm fighting. I usually have this confidence that I would go to the Evo and I'd be like, bro, they worry about me. I don't give a fuck about them kind of like mentality. I only worry about the top 10 guys. Anybody else here should just be free. That's how I think. But I don't really think that way, like, without putting in the work. I put in hundreds of hours for me to actually legit feel that. You can say that as many times as you want, but then at the same time, if you actually don't honestly believe that, then it's pointless, right? So like, I do believe that. But then you kind of needed to put in the work and practice. But yeah, actually, to be honest, if you're gonna go to the tournament, the best way to practice is actually play rank. So if you can actually legit increase your MR by 100 MR, whatever MR you're in, unless you're already in the 1900s to 2000s, then you're good. I swear. Because the rank can actually prepare for that, because you have to win the 2 out of 3. And then when you do custom matches, do multiple 2 out of 3s. But yeah. I'm struggling while corner to defend strike throw situations from characters like Ken and Jay. What would be a good thing to practice? Seems to guess wrong a lot. Oh, deepest drip. That's a pretty good question. I get this a lot. So if you're struggling while getting corner to defend strike and throw situation from characters like Ken and Jury, which I deal with on a fucking daily basis since day one, bro. The best way is to really, really watch the replays on how exactly you got hit. So like, here, if you're here in this situation, shout out to Johnny Rodden, what's good? Dude Fuego, what's good? Thank you guys. If you're here and you're dealing with strike throw all the time, the skill there is basically out the window. You're just doing a bunch of educated guesses, right? So there's no more skill there in that sense. So try to prevent that hit that led up into the corner situation from whatever it may be. It could be from a drive rush, it could be a random DI, it could be from a jump, it could be from a dash, it could be you whiff something. Those things you could absolutely fix, right? And when you fix them, then you will be in the corner way less. But if you had to guess on what, try to gauge your life and the risk reward from it. Most of the time, you should deviate. I agree, but not very crazy. You know, you should deviate. You should still tech at times when it doesn't make sense, but not. But they should be, the frequency should be low. Should be like 10%. The rest you should use logic, like your life management or risk assessment. You know, like, so if you're gonna take 70% by teching or 60% in general, then you might as well not tech and do just early tech or backdash or block, you know, and also expanding your options on the defense. Some people only late tech, some people only do reversal or late tech. They only do 2. When you have jab, late block, late jab, block, hold up forward, block, up back, backdash, early tech, late tech, parry, block, late parry. Like, those are like so many options that most players don't do. And if you're adding all of those combined, plus the wake up super reversals, then I think you're gonna be Gucci. Yeah. Okay. How often do you introduce being random or misdirection to a rank match? Or do you always act based on you see and save random for long sets? You mean random like deviation, I guess. It's like deviation from the standard predictable strategy that's just solid. So the reason why is, like, most players will play a reactive strategy. Reactive strategy, you could call it even though it's like predictable, it's not like you can download it because it's the flow of the strategy is based on how you're playing. So that's most pros play that way, reactive. They play slow, they play like this, and you see what the fuck you're doing, and they will just counter, will do the necessary counters to your approach, right? But if you say the misdirections in ranked, you would do a misdirection in ranked. It's very rare. I don't necessarily have to do that in rank. In rank, you can literally, a pro player will usually have about to like 6 gears or 5 gears of like different styles they can bust out. In rank, you don't have to do that. You can just do level 1, which is, it's gonna be rough. It's just do standard template strategy of like reactive, and then based on what they're doing, you just tweak it out a little bit with the subtle changes. So if this guy is a jumper or a DIer or likes to drive rush, you just sprinkle a few anti-air, some anti-DIs into my base strategy of reactions, and then you just win that way. But yeah, in rank, not as much, because it's all about your win rate. For sure, but man. Yeah. Okay. How do you sleep knowing Sim carries you? First time in history somebody has ever called that. Hey, what should be my main focus in neutral? Anti-air, drive rush, whip punish, DI, etc. That is the biggest misconception that you guys have. This. Because this is not a thing. Okay? This is not a thing. That's not a thing. Players in general, pros, we know there's options. We know we have to pay attention to AA, to drive rush, to whiff punish, right? To DIs, right? Walk up, walk in. Not grab because you're not in grab. Fireballs, and yeah, AA is basically jumps, right? That's like that's like 1, 2, 3, 6 things, right? 6 things. If you're paying attention to all 6 in general, you're fucked. Your brain is fried. You can't do that. So the skill there is determining between in the first how fast you could process this information based on the first 15 seconds of the game, on what are the things that your opponent most likely to do based on his flow, how he walks, how he jumps, how he throws his fireballs. What is he doing? His rank. What is he like? Then you key in on 2 or 3 of these options. I'm not saying you're only stuck with those 3 options, but then let's say after you anti-air them, depending on how good they are, they might switch to the other options, and then you key in on those options. And that's the chess of the game that most players are not on that level yet. We all understand there are 6 options. When the highest level play, we can pay attention to 3 things. Okay? But we are gonna do minimum damage if you're paying attention to 3 things. Because if you drive rush, I'm only gonna be able to jab, right? If you jump, I'm only gonna do back strong, okay? Or sometimes parry. And then if you walk in, I can probably do standing short or back medium kick, that's it. Just 3 things. But then all little damage. So it's not efficient, right? So what we do in pro level play is like we will put you in 2 things that you will most likely do. You're gonna walk in, you're gonna press some buttons like this here and there. So we're gonna get some big boy damage. So if you jump, we get the fucking fireball, we get the back fierce, or we get an actual down back heavy with punish into DRC combos. And then we put you again in a different category in the next 5 seconds of the game. But yeah, that's to answer your question. It's never, yeah. Also, how you deal with a lot of low-level players, just like Impulse Bane. I just play them like rank. And if you're good in rank, you're good versus Pulse. Automatic. So that's not necessarily a... Yeah, pretty easy. Johnny Rotten, what's good? Thank you, my man. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it. Is there any more questions? The finale. What's the 9th question? Did I miss something? Yeah, for sure, but it's a game question. There's so many of you guys. How can you know? How do you personally determine if a character is strong enough to be competitive or not? I think most players just know based on how many tools or how much tools certain characters does have. It's not rocket science to determine JP is bullshit, right? It's not rocket science to determine Luke, Ken, you know, etc. DJ, Jury, Cam, right? It's not rocket science. So, pretty easy, straightforward. Like, we knew basically in Marvel 3 that Magneto, Virgil, Doctor Doom, fucking Zero was the best characters in the game. Fucking Phoenix. Like, we knew it already day 1 or 2. Shit. Negative 2 weeks. Taquito told me in Canada Cup that Virgil is gonna come out and he's gonna be bullshit. Which, let alone, he was correct. Easy. Hi, Wolfie. What do you mean? It's not rocket science to determine which character is strong or not, because number 1, you can legit check Twitter to know which character is strong. You can check that, right? It's not rocket science to know who's broken. How do you improve your execution? Practice. Best steps to learn a new character? Oh, damn, that's a rough one. Best steps to learn a new character is hard because it depends on exactly how you learn as a player. Most players, I can get, but if my friend sends me some text messages exactly what I should do with this character, I can apply it because I've been playing fighting games for so long. But some players, they need actual play time, that like lab time, instead of like that. They need to lab all the tools first and then play. So that's how other players would do it. I learn by losing. That's the best way to learn for me, is losing. So I need to go play a character. I pick up, let's say I never played Ryu before, pick up Ryu, and this is what I did to the Master Challenge, right? I just pick up the character, no training mode, go straight to rank, do a placement match, lose there, go to training mode, fix my problem, add some few tools, play, win a few, then encounter a new problem, right? Fix that problem in training mode, repeat the process, continue. So that's how I learn. Other people, they learn differently. They like to watch videos. They like to talk to somebody who knows the character. They like to get tips. They like to figure it out themselves. Or they like to play casual matches first. They like to go multiple hours in training mode first before they want to jump in on rank. So it depends. But yeah, those are the things. Can you give us the top 3 drills? What do you mean drills? It depends. What character do you use? Taco Menace? drills. Cammy? If you're playing Cammy, you should just only do a few things. Your crosscut DP, that's the only thing you'd be practicing there for reals. If you're having problems with X character, let's say Ryu, doing things, practice it, like what normal's giving you problems, practice how to whiff punish them, what range you need to be. Like, that character is very straightforward, Cammy, so the stuff that you're gonna be working on are situations. It's not necessarily like tools. It's not necessarily like very complicated situations. It's like you're gonna learn how to punish certain things of the other of your character's like problems. So like if you're having problems with Honda or Zangief with Cammy, then you go to the lab and have that character whiff buttons on record, and then you try to whiff punish it. Figure out the right spacing many times. Figure out like that, those sort of stuff that you need to practice with Cammy. I swear. Like, or practice this. Practice the crosscut DP. That's it. Alright. We are done. We are done with that. It's time to play.